Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to the van build. If you are new here, my name is Elias. I'm an amateur landscape photographer, an amateur van builder, I guess you would say. I'm currently building out a 2003 Mercedes Sprinter van, and it has been a journey. So if you've been here since the beginning, thank you so much for returning. If you're curious about any of the stuff I have done in this entire van already, I'll link all the episodes down below. The whole point of this van build is to bring my experience as someone who literally doesn't know jack squat about this kind of stuff, and I'm just doing it. I'm just a guy out here doing it, which means you can totally do it too at home. If someone like me can do it, you can definitely do it, trust me. So hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the van build episodes. I've only got, after today's episode, it's gonna be the flooring, it's gonna be electrical, building in bed, and it's just gonna be a couple more videos until I'm finally done with this thing. I'm so excited. Today, we are going to be doing the flooring, and it's a little bit unorthodox what I'm going to be doing, because most people do like the slide tongue and groove or the slide shiplap kind of flooring where they click it in and put it all out, but I needed to save as much room as possible because my head is already touching the ceiling. I feel the hair caressing it as I walk by, so I needed to save as much space as possible. So today we're going to be installing this 1/8 inch peel and stick flooring. It is literally just a peel this backing off, stick it to the floor, and you are good to go. We went with this color. I really like the light color of the wood. It's got actual grain in it. It's not just flat. It's not just like a laminate print on it. You can actually feel the grain of the wood, which is sick. It is waterproof. It is scratch resistant. And the best thing about this is if something gets messed up, you can literally just somehow peel the bad piece up and put a new piece in place. Very excited about that. But it is only 1/8 inch, so I am literally saving as much room as physically possible between the ceiling and my head. So this is why I went with this kind. Let's talk about preparation. I just went through and scraped the entirety of this van with a scraper. If you haven't watched any of the other episodes, I did the backsplash, I did all my grout stuff, and I just let it all fall on the floor, and that was a huge mistake. Should not have done that. Also painting, I kind of just, when I was done painting, I just put the paint brushes or paint rollers on the substrate, and it just left a giant pile of paint goo, which I had to then scrape off. So if I can go back, just prep work, keep everything clean. It doesn't matter if the floor is getting covered. You need a smooth surface. So scraping that was not fun. Now, the thing with peel and stick is it's like a sticker, right? You need a clean surface. You cannot have dust, debris, anything, because once you stick to that, if there's dust there, that becomes the substrate that it's sticking to, not the floor substrate. It's sticking to the dust or debris or whatever's there. So getting it as clean as possible is a must. I went ahead and just swept the entire van, and I borrowed a little hand blower from work and just blew everything out, which made a huge mess. So I think I'm just gonna be blowing it as I go and cleaning as I go. And we saved the floor to last because you do a lot of stuff inside this van before it's ready. So why would you do all of that stuff? Anything you do inside is gonna be falling on your brand new floor. I've seen so many van builds where I see people put the floor in one of the first things they do. That's insane to me because I have made a mess, dropped things, everything that's happened. You'd have to protect your floor 24/7. I highly recommend making it one of the last things you do. You may have noticed that the baseboards are actually out on this van. That is so I can have the peel and stick flooring butt up against it. So when I put the last piece of shiplap in, there'll be a little gap, kind of hiding the reveal, so I don't have to put any kind of trim or anything to hide that corner. So it also gives me a little bit of room to cheat if I need to move the flooring at all. So I've already installed 2 pieces, one that went terribly wrong. We're only on piece 2 and it went really wrong. Well, let's go over what we're gonna do and how we're gonna ship it out. So the very first run is probably the most important because it's your starting piece. Now, nothing in this van is square. I have nothing to go off of, nothing's level. Pretty much, I put my first piece in, or I laid it down before I pulled the peel and stick off. I measured each end off that wall on both ends to make sure that we were square. The measurement was the same. It's pretty dang close, so I'm gonna go with that. And pretty much if you get your first run completely square to the van, or as square as possible, you don't have to worry about measuring anymore. You just build out from there. So the first run is the most important. Second thing is your layout, how you're going to be laying these out. Some people will literally just lay stack by stack by stack by stack and not cut them. Some people will do one full stack, and then a 3/4 stack, and then a half stack, and a quarter stack, and then go from there. I'm kind of doing a hybrid of that. I'm just going to be doing one run all the way through, and then I'll probably start here at a 3/4 stack and then go it all through. So only the starting piece is going to be different, but that will put the ends different throughout. Fortunately, I did have to start with a 3/4 lap here because one full lap only left like a little room up there by the wheel well. So I went ahead and just started with the shorter one here. Yeah, let's just get started and we'll cut our next piece on the other side and we'll go and see how it goes. Luckily, this stuff is super easy to cut. Literally, you just need a box cutter and some sort of straight edge. I'm using my split square. So if you can, always pull from a factory edge. I've already cut this piece to get that little piece started. So this is gonna be 16 3/4. And pretty much I bring it to the edge so this little lip can overhang. I put that on my mark, do a light scoring, putting a lot of pressure on this so it doesn't slide, and get a good one. Couple good ones, and then you should just be able to break it in half. It comes right off, just like that. Sweet. First run is done. So now we got our first run in. Time to start the second run, and like I was saying earlier, we're going to be doing the first one is going to be the different length. A lot of people will do the different lengths as they go continuously on the run. We're not going to do that. We are going to just have different lengths on the starter run like this, so that way the seams never line up, and then we'll just go full one after that. So since I started with 3/4, we'll go ahead and do a half, which is 18 inches. These are 3 feet long, 36 inches. So factory edge, breaks right off, and peel this off. Starting with the factory edge, bottom. Let's stick it. I'm not too worried about the end because when we're done, we're gonna be installing some kind of metal trim, kind of an angle piece. It'll come on the deck down to the face, all the way across, and that'll be hiding this transition. So, all right, let's keep going. Finally ready to get going around this corner, which sucks, but all I did was get my first piece started, took a measurement from here to here, marked it on a board, and then took this measurement and marked it in at both ends, and cut it out as a notch. So let's test fit it, see how it came out. Pretty dang close. Yeah, we'll work with that. I've noticed that these ends like to peel up pretty easy, so if you don't put a lot of pressure on them right away, they will peel up. So definitely, as you're putting these down, just go back over and put pressure. Just something I've kind of noticed as I've been installing it. So what I'm probably going to do is actually continue this row, leave this sliver that is now going to be against this wheel well, and so I can get an actual fine-tuned measurement, because I don't want to just cut this. Again, not everything's square, so I'll probably just continue this one straight so I can get that piece that's going to be missing exact, and then lay it in there. Definitely the most fast-moving item in this van. I just figured everything in this van is going to take probably twice as long as what I thought it was going to take. This is actually going pretty fast, so that's good. The bummer is I know that I'm going to be short. I've definitely screwed up a couple pieces, and I knew it was going to be tight when I bought the 2 boxes, so that sucks. I'm probably going to have to go to Home Depot. The trip isn't wasted because I do have to go there to get the edge metal. It's going to be the transition here. It sucks I got to buy a whole box for probably 3 or 4 pieces. That really sucks, but we'll see. installed, dude. Wow, only took a day. That was awesome. I thought it was gonna take a lot longer than that. I guarantee if I was actually dealing with real wood, it would have taken more than a day. For me, I mean. So now I'm gonna measure this piece right here, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut the angle iron trim. This is what I got for that. It's just aluminum inch. I should have got 1.25 if I'm being honest, but inch will work. And it's literally just going to sit like that all the way across. Drill holes and countersink for it so the screws sit flush. So that looks sick. It's gonna hide this too, so this is gonna be hidden, but it's also gonna leave a little bit of room for air to travel because I wanted the floor to be able to vent for how much rust I saw underneath it when I ripped it apart. All right, just cut my piece, fit it in there. So I went ahead and marked a dot where I want each screw to be. So I'm gonna have to pre-drill those and get a countersink hole in them. And those dots are where my struts are underneath on the subfloor. So it all matches up. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill these out, and then we'll put the screws in, and this side will be done. Perfect. All right, holes are drilled. Go ahead and put this guy in. All right, guys, so I got in way over my head. What I was trying to do was trim out this, have these angle changes in the metal trim, and I'm cutting everything with a grinder. It's not been going well, so I'm gonna cancel that. That has been canceled. I don't know what I'll do for this trim piece. I might just leave it open, who knows? I don't know, something to figure out. So we'll leave that alone. Got the back piece in. Now I'm gonna put these baseboards in and screw them together. And then I gotta fill in the screw holes, sand them down, and then repaint them, and then we'll be done. Boards are all sanded and painted. Glad that is over. I hate that part. I'm gonna be honest. I do not enjoy that part. We're done, dude. Floor's in, and I have accomplished my mission, which is keeping a little bit of headspace and not just putting my head against the ceiling. What I wanted was at least an inch, which is what I kind of have in walking this entire van. So very stoked on that. 5'10", and yeah, that was a lot of math to figure that out from the very start, from the substrate all the way to the ceiling. So glad we did that. I will say the peel and stick flooring, it's not my favorite. If I had the choice, I would put actual piece together laminate flooring inside this van. And who knows, maybe someday I might actually do that. And the reason being, you know, the peel and stick is nice, quick and easy, but it was a little chintzy. And I've noticed a lot, I kind of talked about it earlier, the corners kind of like to step up, and even now as I walk, you can kind of see some pieces that are still peeling up a little bit. So I got this car battery, the one that the van came with, not the one I'm going to be using, but I'm just kind of putting it in different places throughout for like an hour or two to kind of get that nice little final press, if you will, on the flooring. But it is what it is, cost-wise and time-wise and saving space-wise. It did its job. So would I recommend it? Yeah. It's definitely not the most high-end stuff, but it is what it is. And yeah, that was the floor install of the van. Thank you so much for watching. So take from all that what you will, and I hope this helps you with your van build. So please give the video a like if you could. It would mean the world to me. This is a lot of work, especially filming the van build. It's a lot of work, so please hit the like button if you could. Subscribe to the channel if you are looking for the rest of the van build or you need help with your van build. Yeah, guys, next is the electrical, so stay tuned because that's the big one. That's the big one, so yeah, see you guys next time. Bye.